Hey guys, ENTP Duelist here, and Lightsworn's going to do support soon, and my girlfriend just got a Lightsworn deck, so this video is dedicated to her, and today I'm going to teach her how to play Lightsworn. Now, Lightsworn is all about getting out Judgment Dragon. This is Judgment Dragon. He's one of the best monsters in the game. You pay 1,000 life points, and it'll destroy everything but itself. It has 3,000 attack points, so it's pretty mighty, and it can just attack directly after it uses its effect. He needs 4 different named Lightsworns in the graveyard. Most Lightsworns use effects to send cards from the deck to the graveyard. Usually they'll have this effect. They'll send the top 3 cards from their deck, the top of your deck, to the graveyard at the end of your turn. Some will send 2, some will mill with other effects, but in general, most of the time, they'll just send cards from the top of the deck to your graveyard. Their spell cards can mill too. For the sake of the video, we're just going to call sending cards to the top of your deck to the graveyard milling. Charge the Light Brigade. You'll mill 3 cards, and then you'll get to search whatever level 4 or lower Lightsworn you need, and you can add it from your deck to your hand. You have to mill before you search, so if you mill the Lightsworn you needed, tough luck. Meanwhile, Solar Recharge adds consistency. You can discard a Lightsworn, draw 2 cards, and then you'll send the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. This will really speed things up for Judgment Dragon, and if you're running Chaos, it'll help get Lights and Darks in the graveyard really quick. Now the deck's aggressive. You're usually milling, so you can run out of cards and lose the duel from having no cards to draw in your deck. When we start the duel, we start off with a hand of 34 cards. Sorry, when we start the duel, we start off with a deck of 34 cards because we'll draw 6 for our hand. If you play Charge of the Light Brigade, a Solar Recharge, another Solar Recharge, and by some miracle you manage to draw your last copy of Solar Recharge, you'll only have a deck of 19 cards. You'll have less than half your deck, and that'll be gone in one turn. We're not even including monster effects that can send cards from your deck to the graveyard, or your Lightsworn effects that will send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard at the end of your turn. Use Lumina to bring back tools. You can discard a card from your hand and bring back a Lightsworn in your graveyard. Each Lightsworn has different effects and helps you out in different situations, so it's pretty useful to get acquainted with them all. She can bring back a copy of herself as well. Now, Lumina can special summon Lightsworns from your hand as long as there's a Lightsworn in the graveyard. So as you can see, if we have 2 Luminas in our hand and we have a Garroth in our graveyard, well, any Lightsworn in our graveyard, we can normal summon Lumina, use her effect to pitch the other Lumina in her hand, so we'll discard her. Now she'll be in the graveyard from being discarded. We could use the Lumina on the field's effect to target the Lumina in our graveyard. The reason this happens is because when you use a monster effect, when you use effect in Yu-Gi-Oh!, you have to pay the cost before the effect actually happens. Discarding a card for Lumina's effect is a cost. So it gets paid first, and then her effect resolves. And when her effect resolves, well, the cost was already paid, so our Lumina in this case is in the graveyard. This will work for any Lightsworn as long as there's a Lightsworn in the graveyard. So if there's any Lightsworn in your hand, and you have a Lumina on the field, and you want to use her effect, you can, and you can discard the Lightsworn you want to bring out from your hand, and then you can target it in the graveyard because you just discarded it to pay the cost, and you can special summon it. So, just to reiterate, there's a Lightsworn in our hand, there's one in the graveyard. We'll discard it for Lumina's effect. We'll use her effect now to target the new Lightsworn in our graveyard, and we'll special summon that Lightsworn. The new copy of Lumina can use her effect too to bring something else out from the graveyard. Use these monsters and Toolbox Xyz monsters. For example, if our opponent had a 3,000 attack point monster, we can create Acid Golem Destruction to Kamikaze. And if our monster banished a Lightsworn we want to use, or in this case, maybe Xyz summon with that Lila we have down, we can bring it back with Leviair. We can also use our other monsters to combo for Xyz as well. For example, Lila can destroy a spell or trap an opponent controls as long as we switch her to defense mode. So we'll activate her effect, switch her to defense mode, destroy a spell or trap. And if we had another level 4 Lightsworn, or any level 4, but we'll just assume it's a Lightsworn, you can Xyz with them. Lavalval Chain is really good at Lightsworn. We can place Judgment Dragon right on top of our deck. Or if we need another Lightsworn in the graveyard to be able to bring Judgment Dragon out, we could send a monster from the deck to the graveyard. Lavalval Chain has 2 effects. On the other hand, you could do something like Diamond Direwolf, use Lila's effect, destroy a spell or trap an opponent controls, then Xyz summon a Diamond Direwolf and destroy a second spell or trap our opponent controls, and it would make things safer if we wanted to play Judgment Dragon from our hands. There are lots of different Lightsworn builds. There's Light Ray Lightsworn, Zombie Lightsworn, Chaos Lightsworn, and there's lots of different customization in these builds. You can run Breakthrough Skill, Plague Spreader Zombie, Necro Gardener. You can even mix and match. Thanks for watching. Which deck do you guys think should I do next? ENTP Duelist out.